So I was browsing Reddit the other day and I came across this subreddit r/subliminal, and it is fascinating. The members of this community listen to audio tracks, mainly through YouTube videos, that are supposedly injected with subliminal messaging. And they claim you can achieve some pretty wild things by listening to these things and tapping into your subconscious. Lose weight, make more money, change your nose shape, change your eye color, grow taller. What's that? Bad thyroid gland? They got you. Now I know what you're thinking, and yes, they've got one for that too. And that. And that. You know, I could kind of use a haircut right now. I wonder if there's any subliminals for that. Let's see, shorter hair subliminal. Oh, nice, they've got one. All right, well, now that we got our haircut, let's go make some money. Oh, cool, this one has Roblox sludge for me to watch. I can just make bank going full iPad kid. Dang, some of these pull some numbers. This video has 1.2 million views, and the channel has 198,000 subscribers? I'm in the wrong business, dude. Results, I listened to this for an hour and the next day my mom gave me $200. This works. Results, I've been listening to this for a while now and my mom is getting 30,000 pounds. Okay, so your mom is getting money, not you. Listen to this frequently and my mom just won $1,300 at some casino machine on the gas station. She's inviting me to whatever I want to eat now. All right, well, it sounds like this one's really good for making your mom money. Oh, here's an interesting one. Hitler if he was Gen Z. I love the little guy that they put in there in the title. Just basking in the sun of the atrocities. Let's see, what else does this channel have? Not much. Doesn't look a lot better though. I'm about to be banned. YouTube, calm down, it's just education. Yeah, YouTube, we're just learning here. Relax. Can I have milk mommy, big chest, subliminal, perfect nipples, not my audio? It did not take long. It did not take long to find this. It should have been much harder. It should have been much harder to find the extra weird stuff. Oh, what? This one can make me Korean. You're Korean. Am I? That was fast. A lot of these have forced in the title, and I wonder what that means. Like, is this just gonna force me to be Korean whether I want to or not? Hang on, the subreddit has an FAQ. Let me see if it's in there. All right, right there. There we go. What are forced subliminal? Do I need to drink water? What, like, in general, or okay, don't get distracted. What are forced subliminals?
What are forced subliminals? Let's talk about this. This is a big one. The concept is that we're taking these affirmations and we're jamming them down your throat. It has an appeal for people who are filled with insecurity and self-doubt, and they'll say things don't work for me, and they think that's the problem. People who use forced affirmations are attempting to bully the subconscious into submission. The subconscious is more powerful than any audio you ever hear. If the audio that's playing is trying to overpower the subconscious, it loses.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is forced subliminals are bull. Could you imagine if you could force people to do things with subliminal messaging in this world? This world with like governments and corporations and stuff? Every time a commercial came on, you would just sprint barefoot to the nearest Arby's. All right, well, let me hit up this guy's channel and see if he has any subliminals, because I don't know, he seems pretty authoritative on the subject, you know, pretty straight-laced, well-hydrated. I'm sure his stuff is much more above board. Sex God Ultra Binaural Subliminal Warning, do not overuse. Sexual Energy Sex God 2022 edition. No fat, unwavering discipline subliminal. Build muscle fast 2022 caution very strong. Self-esteem and self-worth. All right, let's really sit down and listen to one of these things. Okay, so let's say we're trying to lose weight. I'm sure that's a very common one. Dangerously skinny subliminal. Be careful 3 times max? Well, I don't know if I want to be dangerously skinny. Instant malnourishment subliminal. Warning, you will starve to death. 3 times max? What happens if you listen to it more than 3 times? Do you just become so thin that you're only a molecule wide and you vanish? 3 times max, you know I had to double it. Oh no, that girl's dead. All right, well now I'm scared of this one. I'm gonna play it, but just for a couple seconds, all right? And I don't know, I mean, if you're already a little underweight, you might wanna mute this part. I don't want anybody fading into the ether, all right? Promise? All right, ready, here we go, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what we have here is a song. Look, YouTube even content ID'd it, there it is. It's that song. So basically all of these that I've come across so far either just sound like a regular ass song or they just sound like ambient noise or white noise. And the idea here, I actually couldn't find this clearly laid out anywhere, but I think that the idea is there's a very quiet like audio layer of somebody talking under the other noise, the song or the white noise, and that's where the subliminal messaging is supposed to be. But everything that's played on top of it is just to distract you and cover it up and make sure that you don't consciously hear it. I've come across a couple where if I'm really listening for it, I can very faintly hear the slightest voice talking. I can't understand what it's saying, but it's just barely there. But for most of them, I don't even hear that. I just hear the song or the ambient noise, which strikes me as a really major issue, right? Like, okay, let's assume for a moment that this is a real thing that works. Are we just gonna trust randos on YouTube to deliver the messaging? Because by the very nature of the concept, we have no way of verifying what messaging they're delivering to us. They could be saying anything. Put corn up your butt, 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 put corn up your butt. I wonder if they addressed that in the FAQ on the subreddit. Like that's an obvious one, right? They've got to address that. Okay, right here, question. What if there are bad things in the subliminal? Answer. This is extremely rare. The reason is simple. Subliminal creators want to create good feelings and bad messages make bad feelings. Basically, if the channel has more than 5 videos on it, that's a person that's serious about making these and wants only good things to come to you. That's it? That's supposed to make me feel better? Are you sure this is gonna give me bigger biceps? You'll trust me, bro. Randos on the internet, they're all really good people, okay? Nobody would ever do anything to hurt you, or play a little prank on you, or exploit you for money, or anything like that, okay? Okay. But why do we have to do it in a cornfield? That's enough questions, just hit play. Something I've noticed while researching this is that there doesn't seem to be a consensus even within the community about what is actually achievable. Like if you just browse the subreddit, you can very easily find people talking about their results from subliminals that claim to do things like change facial structure things, like your nose shape, or get your ex back. But even here, under the FAQ for that very subreddit, the first question there, what can a subliminal do? They point you to this post, which specifically says things like altering the behavior of others, including getting your ex back, and fundamental changes to your anatomy aren't things that are gonna work. And yet a ton of people in the subreddit claim to be getting results from those sorts of subliminals. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, that's just placebo effect. Well, don't worry, if we scroll up in this post from the FAQ, they've got you covered there. Here we go, that's just placebo effect. Doesn't it feel awesome to be right about something, to be smarter than other people? And if you're chasing that smug little high, there's nothing more tempting than cynicism. Everything is stupid, just say that, and even if you're not brilliant, you're still a dark, grounded, impressive little shit, aren't ya? Oh, you know a medical term. Jeez, why did that get so hostile? Basically, after you sift through the hostility, the point that they're trying to make there is that even if it is placebo effect, it doesn't matter because placebo effect is just as good as any other effect. But you know what? That's true, they're actually right about that. I think a lot of people think that placebo effect is like when somebody perceives that something worked or convinces themselves that something worked even though it really didn't. But that's not really what it is. Placebo effect means that the thing had the desired outcome even though there is no mechanism related to the thing itself that should have caused that outcome. The person actually gets the outcome purely because they believed that the thing they were using would give them that outcome. Now look, technically we're talking more about the belief effect here, okay, which is slightly different than the placebo effect, just in case any pedants come marching in. But okay, here's a real world example. In this study, they gave 2 groups of people the exact same milkshake, but they told one group that it was a very high calorie, indulgent milkshake, and they told the other group of people that it was a low calorie, sensible shake. And the group that was told that it was a low-calorie shake was measurably more hungry after consuming the shake than the other group that was told it was a high-calorie shake. They were excreting more of the hunger hormone ghrelin. So they didn't just think that they were more hungry, they were literally excreting more ghrelin, more of the hunger hormone. That's wild. So is it possible that people are really getting results from these subliminals? Yes, but placebo effect isn't limitless. It can't just change the unchangeable. Like, we know that hunger can change, and so it's not that far-fetched to think that somebody's beliefs can affect hunger. But your level of Koreanness, that stays pretty consistent. Whatever portion of Koreanness you're served up in the womb, That's gonna be how much Koreanness you get for your whole life. All right, so for the more changeable things, at least, there's probably no harm in somebody listening to subliminals, right? I think they're still harmful. Like, okay, in a vacuum, sure. Like if you're a person with generally high self-esteem who just happens to want to lose a little bit of body fat, and in addition to your nutrition and your exercise plan, you want to sprinkle in a little magic white noise before bed, sure, what's the harm? But the problem is that is not the type of audience that these things are attracting. If you spend just a couple of minutes in the subreddit, you will pretty quickly realize that this is a community made up mainly of insecure teenagers who are grasping desperately for a sense of control over the things that they're insecure about. This community as a whole seems deeply rooted in insecurity, mainly with body image. And look, I'm not somebody who believes that in order to have a healthy body image, you have to be 100% satisfied with your bodily appearance, no notes. Like if you have acne and then you seek treatment for that acne because you feel that you'd look better without it, does that mean you have a body image issue? Like that can't be right. But the problem happens when the things that you're critiquing about yourself start to get obsessive and irrational. Like, okay, you had the acne and now you've gotten rid of the acne. How do you feel about yourself? Do you feel better? Rationally, you should. But do you, or does some other insecurity just instantly grow to fill that void? That, I think, is when it starts to slip out of rational self-critique into things like body dysmorphia and eating disorders. And whoo, let me tell you, this community is some premium grade dysmorphia fuel. Oh my God. It is just an endless, all-you-can-eat buffet of new and exciting things to feel insecure about. I'm insecure about my nose, so I listen to some smaller nose subliminals, and then I'm suggested subliminals for a recessed jawline, and now that I think about it, I could use a stronger jawline, so now I'm listening to those, and then I'm suggested subliminals to make my areolas smaller, and gosh, I never really thought about the size of my areolas, but it sounds like they're supposed to be small, maybe mine are too big. You're making it worse, it'll never be enough, you're just gonna compound more and more things to feel insecure about. Plus, you'll feel even more insecure about the things that you were already insecure about because now you're spending more time hyperfixated on them. And for nothing. Because no YouTube video is going to change the way you look simply through the act of listening to it. The subliminal or the unconscious mind is a real thing. Like, I don't think anybody's debating that. But rather than trying to use it as a mystical force to solve all your problems, I think the much better thing to do is to introspect, to dig into that subconscious mind and try to pull things out into the conscious mind so that you can understand them. If you feel ugly every time you look in the mirror and nothing you change makes you feel any better, why? Where is that coming from? You have to dig through that unconscious mind and find that answer and pull it into the conscious mind so that you can do something about it. And that is something that a therapist can help you with. And this would be a great place for me to segue into my sponsor.
If I had one!
Sorry, I'm really insecure about being a small YouTube channel. I wonder. Oh my God!